Hey, it's Brock here with Rock Hill Farms, and today's video is about safely loading and hauling a skid loader in a dump trailer. So in regards to safety with hauling a machine like this, your 2 points I want to talk about are the actual loading process and safely getting the machine into and out of the dump trailer, and the second being getting your weight properly centered so that you're not getting any kind of excessive sway in the trailer. I think mostly everyone knows if you have too much weight to the front or too much weight to the back can make for a dangerous situation. The main danger in terms of loading is that as you come up onto the trailer and you tip and all the skid loader weight is on the back end of the trailer, that's shoving down so hard that it can lift your truck off the ground and cause the whole setup to roll. It can also break something on your hitch or your tongue and come loose that way. And it's just critical that we don't let the back of the trailer drop and that we don't let the truck and trailer roll. So to accomplish that, I'm using jack stands, wheel chocks, and I'm engaging the parking brake. In an ideal scenario, you'd always park on flat ground, but a lot of times you're not going to have access to flat ground. Where we're parked right now is as close to flat as we have anywhere on the property, and in this exact spot about 2 years ago, I was loading my tractor, back of the truck lifted, and the truck rolled about 6 feet. If I had been on more of an incline, that could have been a much more dangerous situation. And that's why ever since then, I've been taking all these precautions. So I'm going to put one chalk behind each wheel in the direction that I know the trailer would want to go. I actually have 2 sets of jack stands in the garage that I could have used, but I didn't feel like they went tall enough and I didn't feel like they were rated for enough weight. So I shopped around a little bit and picked up these jack stands right here. So I've put this under the strongest point where this I-beam is, and I'm going to leave it about 1 inch below the I-beam because I figure it's going to sag a little bit and you don't want to get the jack stand stuck underneath it. So I'll put one of these on each side and we should be ready to go. An ideal setup is probably to have the built-in jack stands, and I may have a video in the future setting that up, but it didn't come on the trailer, so we're going to use some regular jack stands. So the last point of concern for the actual loading process is whether to go on forward or backward. I've watched people do it both ways. Either way can work, and I don't think you're going to tip either way. But when you get to the top, it is going to feel like you're going to tip. And my preference is that if there is any risk at all of tipping over, I'd rather have the loader, the boom, in front of me to catch it than out in the other direction. And I think it's better to have that counterweight, the majority of the weight, backing in. So that's what I'm going to do. As I stand here and look at it, I'd say I pulled the skid steer about 2 foot farther forward than I needed to, because our center of weight is a few feet in front of this front axle. So I'm guessing I've probably got 2,500 pounds of tongue weight. When this rig weighs 15,000 pounds, I should have 1,500 pounds of tongue weight. So let's go find out. So like I just said, 10% tongue weight would read 1,500 pounds on this gauge. I think I'd rather have 11%. Just a little more weight forward is better. So we're looking for 1,650 pounds of tongue weight. The gauge is reading 2,200 pounds. So I've got to shift some weight towards the back. I'm going to pull the skid loader till the bucket is all the way back against the doors and see what that gives us on this. If we can't get the number I'm looking for, we'll turn the loader around and load it forward. If you're not already familiar, this is called a weigh-safe hitch. They make them for your bumper pull hitches, they make them for goosenecks, they make them for weight distribution hitches. I have all three. They're fantastic products. They help you know exactly how your weight is set up and how much weight is in the dump trailer. So if I'm loading a loose material and I don't know what that material weighs, I can know I'm at dump trailer capacity when this gauge hits the right number. So I think this is a huge safety component. You can go to weigh-safe.com, use code ROCKHILL for 15% off your order. I went ahead and pulled the skid loader all the way back until the bucket was touching the back gate, and that didn't really get the weight centered the way it needed to be. I still had 2,000 pounds of tongue weight, so that means the only solution is to try loading it forward. Okay, so my weigh-safe gauge is reading 1,700 pounds, which tells me I'm properly centered weight-wise. And there's about 18 inches between the front edge of the bucket and the front of the dump trailer. But I'm going to put a mark on the side rail with this white paint pen so I can see from in the machine when I'm in the right spot before I come around and actually check it with the gauge. Then I'm going to get the machine strapped down to the D-rings in the bed, and we're going to take it for a ride and see how well it actually pulls and handles with this much weight here, because this trailer sits a little higher and this is a lot of weight up higher. So before I take it to a job, I want to test it out. So here's another thing I was concerned about. The jack stand is now wedged under the back of the trailer and I can't pull it out. I mentioned that in my previous video, that was a concern I had about putting the permanently attached jack stands. If you have a couple of inches of drop in your trailer once it's loaded, then those can get jammed in place. Now with these, if I pull forward, it's just going to tip it over. But potentially, if it's jammed in hard enough, you could damage your jack stands doing that. But I don't really know what other alternative there is, unless there's some time with like a crank handle or something. Or you could leave more of a gap. I left about an inch gap for sag. So I'm just going to see how it does pulling forward. If you guys have any other suggestions for the best way to support the back of the trailer, let me know. I'm sure I'll get some comments about having straps on the skid loader, and that's accurate. I really need to be using chains, and I will be. But this is what I had handy at the moment, and it was just a test run. So I'm real happy with how that went. It pulled just fine. It stopped fine. You know, you can feel it when you take off, but no problems. And I'm comfortable using this on a regular basis. Tomorrow I've got a tractor work job that I need the dump trailer and the tractor on. So tomorrow morning I'm going to cover how well this works for hauling my tractor. Right now I appreciate you taking time to watch this video. I'll put links over here to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.